Okay, by request, we are looking back at the career of former West Ham captain Mark Noble, A.K.A. Mr. West Ham. 18 years a professional player, all but, 18 games played at West Ham. There were 18 games he played out on loan in 2006 at Hull and Ipswich. He had a very good youth international career with 47 games between the under 16 grade and under 21s, scoring 3 goals. And there's some really interesting facts about Mark Noble. But let's have a look at his career in numbers and facts. His youth career actually started at Arsenal in 1998. He was there for 2 years until 2000 before going over to the other side of London, where he's actually from, because he's originally from Canning Town, in 2000 to join West Ham United and their youth setup, which he is part of until 2004. His senior career, however, starts in the 2004-2005 season with a debut in the League Cup against Southend United in the August of that year in a 2-0 win. Now, between 2004 and this year, 2022, the end of this season, he appeared 472 times at senior level for West Ham United. If you include his youth level appearances, we're talking about 550 appearances, but at senior level, he appeared 472 times, and he actually only scored 55 goals, and a lot of them from the penalty spot. And we'll get to his penalty conversion percentage later on, because that is a very, very interesting stat. He was a box-to-box midfielder, and he could have left for another club when he was out on loan at Hull and Ipswich. There were the options for season-long loans where he could have been signed at a reduced fee. When West Ham were in the Championship, he could have left. They've spent several seasons in the Championship while he's been a West Ham player. He could have seen the bright lights of the Premier League and moved on, but he decided to stick it out with West Ham as a West Ham player for the entirety of his senior career. Now, at Hull, he went over to Hull in the 2005-2006 season to get some extra game time. He only played 5 games, and that was cut short his loan by injury, which is a bit unfortunate. He scored no goals there. And then in the 2006-2007 season, he was loaned out to Ipswich Town, where he did manage to play 13 games and score a goal before his loan was recalled around Christmas for the rest of the 2006-2007 season. So in total, if you count his loan appearances and his West Ham appearances, he's played 490 games at senior level and 60 games at youth level, with 56 goals. That's not bad. That's 1 in 10, roughly, goal to game ratio. So every 10 games, you'll get a goal out of him. So not the most prolific goal scorer from midfield, but a handy depth scorer. But he's more of a box-to-box leader. He's your leader, which he ended up becoming towards the end of his career. Now, we look at his youth international career. In 2002, he makes his first under-16 appearances. He had 7 in total that year. Between 2003 and 2004, he was representing the under-17s for England, with 12 appearances. In 2004, he qualified for the under-18s, where he made a solitary appearance in 2004, which is when he gets called up to the senior squad at the age of 17 to play against Southend United in the League Cup. So now technically he's actually also eligible now at this point for the senior squad, which he never actually makes. He never got a senior England appearance, which is ridiculous in my opinion. In 2005, for the under-19s, he played 7 times. And between 2007 and 2009, he played for the under-21s, including captaining them. He played 20 times in total for the under-21s, scoring 3 goals, which meant his totals of youth level internationals at 47 with 3 goals. That's got to be a record for youth international appearances without having a senior cap, surely. I'll have to look at that little stat. But it does surprise me he never got called up to the senior squad at any time. As I say, there were periods where West Ham were in the Championship, and he was playing at a time when there were some other pretty decent midfielders eligible for England. Gerrard and Lampard, Scotty Parker, for example, who played a very similar role to Mark Noble, were all at the peak of their powers at the time. He's breaking through at West Ham and getting regular first-team football. Now, the quirky stats about Mark Noble. We've looked at his career stats, but the quirky facts. His testimonial was actually played back in 2016 due to his long service at the club on the 28th of March. A West Ham 11 select versus a West Ham All-Stars. Di Canio and Chris Ashton made appearances in that game. Another interesting stat, he is the last captain to lead West Ham out at Upton Park, and that was a game against Manchester United. There's a thing for important games versus United's. In this case, it's Manchester United. They win that game 3-2. His penalty conversion percentage is the second highest in a 20-year period between 2000 and 2020 at 90.5%, only bettered in that period for penalty conversions by Robert Lewandowski for Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund with a 91.1% conversion percentage. That is ridiculous. He's also played more Premier League games for West Ham than any previous player. And of course, he also had the longest time in the squad at 18 years. Honestly, it does beg a belief how he was never called up by England for even a solitary appearance. Really does beg a belief. He could have left for West Ham at any time during that period, especially when he's out on loan at Hull City and Ipswich. I know Alan Pardew was the manager at the time. And this is coming off the back of their FA Cup final appearance against Liverpool. He was obviously injured when he was at Hull City, so he actually missed that FA Cup final run because his loan could have been recalled at any time. And of course, at Ipswich Town, he started to get a run in the side at Ipswich Town before his loan was recalled. He could have felt frustrated at any point by not getting regular first team football, as he's been around the senior squad at this point for about 2-3 seasons, but he decides to stick it out. And then under Alan Kirbishley, who followed on from Alan Pardew, yes, there's a lot of Alans involved in this as well. He becomes a first team regular from about 2007, 2008 onwards. And while there were some difficult patches in there, and West Ham did go through some tough times, they're now they've just had their first European semi-final. That for a long time, they've really gone from strength to strength in the league. They're now, battling for Europa League qualification, or pushing the top 4, top 5. And Mark Noble is a big part of that. He's a big part of guiding the younger players around training and on the field, off the field when he's not playing, because he doesn't play every single game. Imagine if he didn't have some injuries and his form didn't dip at times. Imagine how many more appearances he could have had. He could have broken the 550 barrier at senior level, not just including youth and senior, at senior level by itself. And to think of it, he's still in brilliant shape. He's still really fit. It is surprising he's decided to call his time now at 35, but he could have gone on for another couple of seasons. We've seen players do that, but he's decided to leave the game at this point and not sign a contract extension. But some other players have gone on, to their late 30s, like 39, early 40s. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I've got to do a video on him. He's just won the league with AC Milan. He's over the age of 40. I mean, Ryan Giggs went on, I think, till he was 42. So some outfield players do pass the age of 40 and keep playing. But Mark Noble at 35, 18-year senior career, he's decided to call it a day now. But, had he had a few less injuries and a bit more consistent game time earlier in his career, he might have broken the 500, 550 senior game barrier. But there we go. There's a brief look at the career of Mr. West Ham, former captain Mark Noble. I will be doing a video on Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We don't know if Zlatan Ibrahimovic is going to decide to retire or not. But I can definitely have a look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic, because that will be a really fun video, because he has won so much silverware. He's one of the most decorated players in the modern era. I think he's played more games, however, than Mark Noble, and I think his career is a good 3 years longer. I think he's been professional for over 20 years. But Zlatan Ibrahimovic is definitely a player on my to-do list for career videos. But there we go, there's the career video of Mark Noble, Mr. West Ham. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your comments in the comment section below, and I will have some more videos for you very, very soon.